Hello, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, no matter where you are in the world. I'd like to talk about a subject today that I get a lot of questions on, and that is integration versus going into high vibration and what to do there. Specifically with myself, I have noticed that there are certain parts that don't want to integrate. If you think about sand on that plate that they send sound frequency through, we need to understand something, because we're a lot like that. As we change vibratory frequency, we literally change shape like the sand does with a different frequency. Now, your frequency is your emotional state. Okay? So your emotion is giving off a frequency. And this frequency is changing you to a different state, just like what you see with the sand, only it's happening in light. Okay? So, if we're exercising the law of free will and we're allowing all people and all things to be exactly the way they are, and in turn that gives us the right to do what we wish to do as well, in the sense that we have that right in our life to do what we will, our free will, then there comes an impasse. There comes a time when you're doing integration, you're integrating back the dark side of yourself or whatever, where it may happen that the dark side doesn't want to integrate. One of the first things I would do is imagine your own part that you want to integrate and ask it if it wants to integrate. And if it doesn't want to integrate, you simply say to it, well, I'm raising vibration, and you can either integrate with me, or you can go on your own timeline. You can go on your own from now on, right? There comes a time where, what we call the wheat separates from the chaff. As we're raising vibration, you cannot integrate everything, because those things want a lower density. Okay? And so if they want the lower density, what are you going to do? How are you going to raise in vibration? So you need to be able to think about this, and you need to be able to work with a method to be able to let go of certain things that are pulling your vibration down. It's just simply pulling your vibration down. And what you want to do is offer it its own freedom. Offer it its own freedom, that it can go on and attract to like kind, right? Because two laws are in play here. One is the law of free will. The other law is the law of polarity. Like attracts like, and opposites always repel, and that's the way it is throughout the whole universe. And Earth is no exception. Just because you hear a lot that people are saying opposites attract doesn't mean it's accurate. Okay? And it's been a pretty painful thing for a lot of people to attract their opposite, and they try to give it some sort of meaning by saying, well, it's a learning lesson. No, it's not. It's frickin' painful. And that's all it is. Until you get it in yourself that you have the right to attract what you like, right? And then that all goes away. Well, the same thing happens internally with yourself when you're working in raising your vibration. There will be parts that will want to integrate and come into the light with you and integrate. And there are going to be parts of you that are going to try to trick you to come back into lower vibration. So if you're noticing that this is going on with you, that you're being pulled back down into lower vibration, for God's sakes, take another look at what you need to do here in shifting your parts that you're trying to integrate. Maybe they don't want to integrate, and in the law of free will, you have to give them their free will. And if their free will is to not to integrate, let them go. Let them go. And feel that freedom so that you can go up and you also lovingly set them free. Okay? You're not trying to force them to come into the light with you. Right? Because maybe they don't want to, these parts of you. Right? And I want you to know that that's perfectly fine, and there's a lot of people doing that in this spiritual journey, is they're just letting go of these parts. Right? It's part of the sand in that plate shifting in the sound vibration to different shapes. You're shifting into a different frequency shape. And they don't want to take on that shape, these parts. And so let them go and allow yourself to come into that. Free will always reigns. Okay? And you have to offer that free will to these parts that you're trying to integrate as well. Because, integrating a dark part of you, you can understand it. You can say, okay, I did that, and now I'm moving beyond it. I'm going higher. But I see people stuck in trying to integrate these dark parts of themselves. Stuck because they keep lowering their vibration to match that stuck part. Let it go. Here's an idea. Just let it go. And allow yourself to lift into that higher vibration all on your own. Now, I'm just going to check and see if there's any questions. And if there's not any questions, then we'll just move on. No questions at this point. Okay. So, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.